नमस्कार आपन को स्वागत करुच्ची अनस्क्रिप्टेड विथ प्रीति। आज हम सांगे जी अच्छा से जड़े बहुत बड़ लॉयर आम किंतु आज तक लॉ विषय रे कौन अच्छी नियम कानून पढ़ाया को चाहूनु नुआ जेनेरेशन पाई आउ लॉ रो एक्चुअल उपयोग पाई कौन करी हबो सेटा सर हमको बहुत भल से बुझेबे। आसंतु तांको स्वागत करबा सनस्टार टीवी को। सर नमस्कार। भल अछंती?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me.
थैंक यू सर आपण हमको टाइम देथिबारो। आमे तो वकील वकिलाती ए सब जिंस विषय बहुत किछि जानिचो किछि जानि ना हो किंतु आपण जने एंती पर्सनालिटी आमे जहा जानिलु जे आपण आज पर्यंत केस हारी नाहंती। वकील मानकर काम हैला से माने केस नेबे किछि जितिबे किछि हारिबे किंतु आपणकर गोटे मोटो हैला किंबा आपणकर सेटा एम भी हेइ थाइ पारे जे आज पर्यंत आपण किछि केस हारी नाहंती। आपण बहुत एजुकेटेड लाइक आपण केमिस्ट्री रे साइंस रे पढिचंती ऑनर्स नै कि ग्रेजुएशन करचंती देन यू हैव डन योर सीए सीएस एंड यू आर वर्किंग इन IBS देन आपण केमती लॉ को केमती आसिले आ केमती कोन तार चिंता धाराटा आपण आसिला टिके हमको बतेबे।
First let me correct you first. Priti, the first thing is that yes, ultimately I have won all the matter. And at the first instance, my always effort is that, first of all, whatever the kind of matter that will come to me, I have one simple principle. If somebody is knocking my door and I will meet him, then the first thing I want to evaluate whether he is genuinely aggrieved or not. If he is genuinely aggrieved, then I say there is a redressal. That is what we call it as a justice. So redressal jadi janakara na hobo society re, that will always leave a blot in the system and the society. And as a important member of the society and a profession like law, a noble profession, I always believe it is my responsibility to see that the people come to my door gets justice. And if somebody comes to my office and he is not deserving some relief, I politely tell him the reason and I say that it is worth not pursuing it because you are not deserving a lawful justice. So that is how I always believed. And winning or losing is always a matter of error or no error, because law, what is law to me cannot be unlawful to you. And I do not believe in the idea that law is a subject of interpretation. Yes, it is a subject of interpretation in the sense that you will read it and you want to understand it. Then you have to form an opinion on this. But does it mean that left hand side for me is left hand side and right hand side for you is the right hand side? If it is not, then how come a law means different outcome to different people for the same set of facts? That's something initially bothered me a lot. Over a period of time, I really did a lot of R&D. I'm a thinking lawyer, I believe. And I am a justice-oriented lawyer in the sense that before it, of course, we all know that justice is given by the honorable judges, the courts. But who will guide them? Who will assist them? It's our duty. A small error here and there, output will change. Like thank God I'm from a science background and I have that analytical mind. And I say that input is equal to output. Now, input can be a set of facts, a set of law. What is set of facts? Means for a particular cause of action. Suppose you are aggrieved of something. For that, a unique set of fact is there. If the client is telling you the unique set of facts, then it is our responsibility to bring the unique set of governing law for that set of facts. Means a finite set of facts combined with a finite set of law is the input, and they are finite by themselves in that combination. So when it goes through the process of adjudication, there has to be only one outcome. And I refuse to believe, and believe me, Priti, I really in fact invite all the people to practice this style. It's extremely empowering and it is also very less burdensome for the institutions. So began from a journey from chemistry honors, entered into this non-science subject like accounts, like CA, CFA, CSA, CS. I was briefly there in a job in IBS, but I didn't like it because it was academic line.
But you
And
chose your profession as a lawyer. What
correct.
makes you that to choose that profession?
In fact, I was I was very impatient. I'm a very free-minded person, and I was teaching and twice the age of mine that point in time in 2002 and 2003. So I was always looking to when by for a brief period I liked that because I love talking, explaining. But over a period of time, I realized that perhaps this is not the subject for me. I mean, or the career for me, because I know in academics there is a limitation,
Yes, sir.
and my mind is always a free mind. Always, it never wants to remain within any kind of bounds. So I got an offer from Delhi. I was in the Hyderabad. I was I was invited there. I went there for an interview, and because of this qualification, I asked for a very exorbitant salary, which of course didn't materialize. But I met the one great jurist, Didi Durga Das Thakur, who is the father of Justice Tirath Thakur, who was the Chief Justice of India in 2014. So, in my interaction with him, he in fact guided, goaded, and suggested me, strongly recommended me, that you should be in the law profession. After knowing my analytical approach and all, because we used to talk for a number of days and all, because he was admitted in the AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Science, Delhi. And that interaction led to, because he used to tell me a lot of beautiful stories about the lawyers, and more importantly, my cousin brother, whose name is Ganesh Chandra Kanungo. They are big in Odisha, as one of the biggest contractors and all. So they used to have a very big cases in Supreme Court. They would wait for a 15 days, 20 days to get an appointment with the senior lawyers then.
Yes, yes.
And Didi Thakur himself was the Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir. He was also the governor. He was also the minister in the Union Cabinet. So he was a very tall personality. And both of these people, I give credit to both of them for infusing interest, and more so, meeting my expectations, and that led to my entering into the profession, and that is how the rest is history.
Thank you so much, sir, for that, for telling us that how you become a lawyer. Then, what message you would give to the next generation who are doing law and will be the lawyers? Because there are so many myths and truths are there. What your suggestion or your interpretation about law for the next generation? Can you please tell that?
Well, I am a first generation lawyer. My father, none of our family members were into law. Though my maternal grandfather, who was a lawyer then, but then I've never met him. By the time I was born, he's not there.
Can anybody be a good lawyer?
Well, what is again is a subject of what is good or bad. It is again is very subjective, I'll tell you. First of all, coming from my background, without having any legal background, I succeeded in this profession. I believe I have succeeded. And contrary to the myth, I call it as a myth, like when I meet a lot of students come to my office for internship and they join me as my associates and all, they say that the first generation lawyers, it's very difficult. I say that it is rather better. How? Suppose a big lawyer's son or a judge's son is practicing. There is always a baggage he carries, because he is always compared with the legacy that his parents or his cousin, that they are into profession. So the people will always evaluate that person on the basis of their legacy. So you are always under constant accountability and evaluation. Contrary to that, we didn't have it. I didn't have it. And to the extent, I must tell you, I've never worked under anybody. Because I came to Delhi for an interview. It didn't materialize, and then I was suggested to enter into law, and I just sent my resignation from there. I never even returned to Hyderabad to collect my belongings also. Threw everything and entered into it. And hardly into 45 days of my profession, enrollment, I got my first assignment then at 1.5 lakh.
In 2003.
Three. That is my first assignment. And I converted a criminal matter into a corporate matter. A criminal prosecution was going on. A lawyer with whom I was, briefly associated in a very informal manner. He's a criminal law giant. His name is Janakalyan Das. So I was going to his chamber, trying to understand, evaluate it and all. And I saw that one file he is dealing with a company prosecution matter. So I said that I can give a better idea than this. And this prosecution was going on for 5-6 years by that time. I said that I can finish it within 3 months. And what did I do? That company was defunct. So what I did is that 561 Companies Act 1956, Section 560, I closed that company. This is called the closure of the company. With the lawyer would not know. That practicing lawyer would not know.
Yes.
Because he was a criminal law expert. Yes. Since I had that, knack of corporate law understanding. So I suggested, client agreed, and it happened, and they paid me that amount of money. So I have a suggestion to the next generation of the students. They should have a range of law at their disposal. And my qualification gave me that range because we were so badly, toiled to qualify these tough courses, professional courses in India, and I always used to study not exam centric. It is complete. I will start A, finish at J. And that helped me in continuing the profession. And all my friends, because started in Supreme Court, so all of my friends then got to know that I'm having a exposure on the taxation laws, commercial laws, a lot of laws I used to know that point in time. Say they would come and take the advices. And I also, a lot of senior lawyers also take opinion from me. And that is how my journey began. And if I could do it, why could not other, next generation would be able to do? I think they can do it. No problem. It's just that they believe that at another angle. The people think, the lawyers think, or rather the students think that what is theory and practice is different. This is so rampantly understood by people. I say this is a myth. Why? In courts, nothing works beyond the statute, language. Generally, we have a habit of asking the clerk, "Batao, filing इसमें कैसा होगा, ये कैसा?" But they would not read the book, bare provision. They would take the hearsay information. So that lead to likely error, because the person who tells you something, if he is committing a mistake, then that mistake you are carrying. So initial days, I used to have a lot of fight with the registrar level, officers there in courts, in Supreme Court, in High Court, Delhi High Court.
Right.
I would not, they would say that this is a defect. I said, no, this is not defect. Then I will show them the provision, bare provision. Then that is how I used to debate before I get into the court, main arena to argue. I began my argument in the registry level at the defect stage.
Yes.
So that gave me the range, confidence. So students must know it is a myth that the theory and the practice is different. Absolutely not. A. B. First generation lawyers cannot succeed is again another myth. I am the perfect example. And many of my friends are successful. Third, and by the way, we are earning better than the other, second, third, fourth generation of the lawyers. And the third is the godfather. I didn't have any. And in fact, I'm married to a family where the judge and the ministers are there. On the contrary, it worked against me. Any person they would refer, they would expect us to do it for free. So I ended up paying them money or spending on them. So it's never rather, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, दूरो पहाड़ सुंदर दिखे, जैसे दिखे. So grass on the other side of the river is greener.